G'day viewers, my name's Kevin and this is my channel Contacted Human. I hope you're all doing well. This video I'd like to share some footage that I took 2 days ago on the 26th of May. I took the night vision out into the backyard as I normally do, and once again I'm trying my little CE5 experiment. And I pointed the night vision at a patch of sky and didn't do the CE5 protocols. I just let it go and just let the camera roll, and nothing showed up in that particular patch of sky. I used the camera to search around for a bit, and then I had a bit of a meditation and turned the camera back at the patch of sky I was imagining that I could make contact in. And sure enough, the lights started flashing back, and while I couldn't see them with my naked eye, I could see them through the night vision. So I centered up the camera as best I could and kept it on that spot. I flashed the light once to start with, and the moment I flashed the light once, about 10 seconds later, I got an immediate response pretty much where it flashes a light back at me. Now, this was a stationary flash. It wasn't moving. It wasn't following, like if a satellite flares up and catches the sunlight while it's moving, if it flares up for a little bit of time, you can actually see that it's traveling. But this was just one light blinked on and then it blinked off again. I didn't catch the light flashing back on the first initial flash, and I wish I had, because I think if I did, it would have actually escalated to me flashing a couple of times, then getting it a couple of times back, so on, like mimicking me, which I've actually had before. So that's my goal at the moment, is to try and get this mimicking process on camera. I think I waved at what I perceived to be an empty sky. I got a wave back, and because I didn't see the wave back, I think it pretty much ended there. Even though there was another one up there flashing, I think that one was sort of telling me the area to look in. I analyze and use tracking data here, which I will show you. I'll bring up the video for you. So this is the footage from when it's stable. There is a light flashing around this area here. There it is. It just went off. So if you keep your eye on that area there. Now, it seems pretty innocuous to see a light flashing like that. It could be anything. Look, you guys don't know me. That could be an aeroplane or a helicopter or whatever. But I'm looking at about 80 degrees elevation up, and I'm looking northwest, which in that direction is straight out towards the Australian desert. That's a satellite, I'm pretty sure, moving through here. Now, even though it's flashing, it appears to be flashing regularly, but it isn't. Another satellite coming down through. I run this through Canovia and just to get its movement data, and I will show you a sped up version of this footage soon, but nobody's out there flying drones at that elevation at 6:24 in the morning. I see these things. I've got footage from different times of the evening as well. The satellite flare-up is actually happening probably... The main satellite flare-up for that morning is happening a good 30 degrees to my left, not in this area here. The fact that this is a regular pulsing light and it's only staying in one area, once again, that is highly unusual. That's not what satellites do. Geo-orbital satellites do not flash. They don't sparkle. They sit in one area. Whereas this is definitely moving around. It even almost does a right angle turn in the tracking data as it shows, which I'll show you soon. I'll show you a sped up version of this so you can get a better idea of what's going on. I'll provide a zoomed in version in post as well. But as you can see, it's not pulsing regularly. Sometimes it's 5 seconds apart, 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. It's usually 2 pulses at once. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3. When I show you the tracking data, you'll actually see it moves down and up. It's not sitting in one particular spot. So I'll bring up the tracking data for just that object alone. There is another object in this footage. I'll get to that in a second. I hope you're out there listening to this. A lot of people will fob this footage off as it's too simplistic and too subtle, I think, for the average person to get their head around. But as I've said before, I'm using an Akaso Seymour night vision. I'm using it on a tripod, so this is stable footage. Nothing's touching the tripod, nothing's moving it. This shows the object's pathway. Now, this started and stopped within that 10 minutes. There wasn't anything there. I made sure that I was filming that piece of sky beforehand, and I filmed that piece of sky after, and there was nothing there at all. It only continued from the moment I was trying to make contact to the moment I said, I'm going in to have a coffee. It's pretty cold out here. That ain't normal, folks. I had somebody try and tell me it's possibly a satellite, and it's definitely, there is no satellite up there that will move in this manner. There's satellites that are on an orbit. They travel around our planet in a circular orbit. There's elliptical satellites, which appear to move much slower because they're moving in an elliptical shape around the planet. There's geostationary satellites, and I catch them up there as well, and they will just sit still. Sometimes they flare up a little bit, but not much. They're generally not seen that well. They show up as a dim light that's just sitting still and not moving. Whereas these guys, they move around, but in one area. I've got them doing all sorts of weird stuff. So much footage to go through as well. But I just wanted to start. Once again, I keep catching this phenomenon, and I want to share the latest videos with you guys. But just one more short clip, which I want to bring up, which is the light flashing back at me. I click the light. Click the light at the start, and I think it's about 10 seconds. I'll have a look if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look. So that is bang on the 10-second mark, right after I flash the light, and I swear it's pulsing back in exactly the same manner that I flashed the light at the sky for exactly the same amount of time. And that's it. So now, if that was a satellite flaring up for that amount of time, you would actually see it moving either down or up or left or right, whichever way it's flashing. I've got little flare-ups like that caught on camera lots of times. But I've actually seen this before without filming it and had it happen on multiple occasions. But I do have another video where I'm communicating, saying hello, and I'm getting this flashback behavior as I'm saying hello. What's not showing up in those videos is, in a lot of them, the objects actually turn and stop and are doing erratic behavior. And because they're so dim, they're not showing up on the camera, unfortunately. One of the reasons I went out and bought a night vision, because if anything weird like that ever happened again, I do not want to miss it. But yeah, I've had a bigger sighting back in the days before we had digital cameras, where I was communicating with something that was flashing in this manner before it flew in close. That's the reason I'm looking for flashing lights more so than what people I think are filming a lot. I am seeing is just normal everyday satellites. Some of them are bright as hell. I saw someone freaking out saying it's so bright it couldn't be a satellite because of how bright it was. But man, I've seen some bright suckers up there, especially as the sun is just about to set or rise. Some of them get really... Look, if they're not turning left or right or stopping or doing anything weird, I'm pretty much ignoring them at this point. Some of them could be something weirder, but I do not know. I try and just include the more anomalous stuff that I catch at this point. Yeah, just wanted to share that with you. I'll be back with a few more vids coming up. I've got a couple of things that I'd like to discuss, as well as some more footage to share. So Thank you so much for joining me. This has been Kevin for my channel Contacted Human. You'll take care for now. I will see you next video. I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye. See you guys.